foreign ministers from around the world will meet in New Delhi this week. In the shadow of Russia's war in Ukraine and spiraling US-China tensions, experts have now issued a warning that the escalating wrangling between the West and Russia over the Ukraine crisis may continue to cast a shadow on the upcoming G20 Foreign Ministers meeting. Now, the meet, which will take place on March 1st and 2nd, is being held days after a meeting of the finance ministers of the bloc in Bengaluru, where the leaders failed to reach consensus and the meeting ended without a joint communique. After China and Russia declined to sign a joint statement condemning Moscow for its war in Ukraine. The New Delhi meeting will be attended by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Britain's James Cleverly. Meanwhile, China is also expected to send its Foreign Minister Qin Gang for the upcoming G20 Foreign Ministers meeting. Now, according to reports, India is seeking to build a consensus and bridge the gap between the West and Russia ahead of the meeting in order to arrive at a consensus-driven outcome and avoid what happened at the G20 finance ministers meet. According to Indian officials, New Delhi will hold the presidency of the G20 for this year, and it wants to steer the focus of this week's meeting on issues like climate change and the debt of developing nations. Speaking to WION, the Foreign Affairs Minister of Czech Republic said that the G20 presidency is a huge opportunity for India and further appreciated New Delhi's approach in the Ukraine-Russia war.
G20 presidency, it's a huge opportunity for India, and I'm very grateful for the way how you approach that. And the leadership in G20 is very important, and India shows that it is capable of that, and it's very logical. You have to understand that Russia's war against Ukraine endangers also security of Central Europe and the whole Europe as such. And we were Russian puppet for 40 years, and we don't want to never ever repeat that. We don't want to be again Russian puppet. And Ukrainians now fight not to be Russian puppet, not to be colonized by Russia, because Russia is the last colonial empire in the world.
U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price has said that the various multilateral issues will emerge during the G20 meeting. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will also hold bilateral talks with the Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. He has, however, not clarified if the issue of Russia's war in Ukraine will be discussed or not.
India is a global strategic partner of ours. We have a wide, broad, deep relationship with India. There will be a lot on the agenda in the bilateral relationship and in the multilateral engagements he takes part in on the margins of the G20. We share a vision with India of a free and open Indo-Pacific, and India is a key partner of ours bilaterally in the context of the Quad as well, other international groupings, even as we've attempted to stitch together some of the partnerships in which India has been a key player.
Meanwhile, according to reports, Japan's foreign minister will not be attending the upcoming G20 meeting due to domestic parliamentary sessions.
International